Yeah, this is Joyce.
And Blake.
And welcome to Savagely Scaled.
In this episode, we're actually diving into something kind of big for somebody. I know last year was really big for me. I feel like this year it's going to be really big for Joyce. And we're going to dive into the Northern California Classics for the competition and what it's been like navigating the qualifying process as an athlete and as a support system. Because Joyce actually did the qualifying part. My support system issue is very small. So yours was very big. But Joyce is officially one step closer to competing in the Northern California Classics, or she will be competing for it.
Yeah, that's the plan. If all goes well, knock on wood.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about after how the qualifying went, what drew Joyce to it, the mental battle of qualifying, the pressure, the expectation, trusting your training, trusting the person who's telling you what to do is correct. What it felt like to submit the scores.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
And the moment you found out and how she went to see what her next step is.
So exciting.
So with that being said, we're going to get into this episode all about Joyce and...
4, 3, 2, 1.
So, we are talking about the Northern California Classics. It's a highly competitive multi-stage CrossFit competition that attracts athletes from across the region and beyond, known for the high standards, challenging programming, and well-run events. It's a competition that tests athletes not just physically, but mentally and strategically as well. What makes the Northern California Classic stand out is that it's not a sign up and show up competition like most of us have gone to. Athletes must first earn their place through online qualifying rounds where workouts are completed under strict standards, filmed, and submitted for judging. Only those who meet the requiring performances levels advance to the next step. So, my question to Joyce is, after hearing all of that, what made you want to do it?
Honestly, for some time, and I think you know this, Blake, there's been like this desire to try to compete as an individual versus a team. Mm-hmm. And I know last year I kind of wanted to do that, but at the time I was going to do it, I got sick and things happened and it kind of deterred those plans. And this year I honestly didn't really know like what competitions I was going to sign up for. I was more kind of go with the flow. And then I had, as all of you know, Joe sign up for this and he did it last year. And he mentioned that he was going to try again this year and that I should probably consider doing it. And at the time I was like, no, like I think at the time he mentioned it was like a week or two away or maybe
it was very sudden.
Yeah. I think the deadline to submit my scores and my videos was like 2 weeks from the deadline. So I was like, I don't know. It's a very crunch time. I don't know if I can do it. And I was looking at the workouts and the weights and the standards. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, maybe why not? Let's see. Maybe we can use this worst comes to worst as like a podcast content kind of thing.
Yeah.
Best case scenario is like, I do the workouts and I make it. Like I have nothing to lose at this point. So I decided, let me look into it. Let me see how much it cost. If I can afford it, it was like a good like $30. So it wasn't too bad. It was not bad at all. And I think the part that I was most nervous of was the submission of videos and everything. Cause this feels more legit in the sense of like, kind of like the games where you have to submit like an online qualifier and submit videos. And I've never had any experience doing any of that whatsoever. So I knew that was going to be the biggest challenge for me. But yeah, I guess the first thing that inspired me was just wanting to go do something individual.
Yeah, that was like a really big thing that we both really wanted last year. Well, I think we've also talked about it before, even the podcast, about how much we both enjoy competitions. We love doing them as teams. You did it with Grace. I did it with Miranda. We've done it together before.
Yeah.
I know that I've always talked that I want to do one with you again. But a big part was like, I want to do something individual. And I think like that also is like when a lot of us were like, you should do something individual, and kind of sparked that. But especially last year, you really, really wanted to. And the opportunities and timing were just never right there. So it was really awesome when, you know, like with Joyce, if you guys have met her, you know this about her. If you haven't, I can't wait for you guys to meet her if we ever see any of our outside fans in person. Right. But she's very like, oh, hey, how's your day? I'm doing this. And when she told me, I was like, oh, okay. And then like my face, I get really excited for people, but for like people I care about, my face doesn't show it. My face goes into my brain, which asks questions. And then I'm like, I worry and go, okay, well, what question should I ask her first? I'm really excited for her, but like, what is she doing? And I was like, hey, well, what are you going into? What is this? And
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. And she had told me like she wanted to do intermediate.
That's right.
Lord knows we love Jo, and Jo has all the confidence in her. And I love that.
Right.
But as Joyce's friend, as Joyce's sometimes coach
too. Yeah.
I was like, what are the workouts?
Oh, they were aggressive weights, guys. They were aggressive.
And then when she told me them, which we'll go over them, I was like, so what does Joyce want out of this? And again, I'm not smiling. I felt so bad for her. Like when I was giving her this information that she's probably like, great, Blake doesn't believe in me.
Honestly, not even, man. That was the crazy part. I was just kind of like, you know what? After you told me that, I was like, it was almost a sigh of relief. Because I personally was like, I would feel so much better doing so because I know I could kill that.
Yeah.
But part of me also feels like I was cheating and kind of doing the like not going for the intermediate. So I kind of felt like I was in this moral dilemma of like,
it is right. Because as like your friend, I was like, oh, I'm telling her she can't do any of these things. And I'm very blunt with Joyce just because like she'll tell me like, that's very mean.
And have that relationship.
And I was like, so does Joyce just not want to move on to the next thing? Do you want, if you have a 30-minute workout, are you only going to do the first 5 minutes? Are you going to be happy with yourself? You know, and that was the thing for me. I want my friend, and I'm not saying Jo didn't want her to do amazing. For me, for her, I want her to go to the next level. I want her to take these competitions and not just be like, okay, well, scale's too less for me. And I'm babying everything, but I want her to be successful. And I didn't want her to pay $30, even though $30 is not a lot for a competition that some of these she was just going to sit and do not a lot of it. And I was like, for me to sit there as your friend and as your coach and just be like, well, that's all the workout. Like the open's different, right?
Right. Yeah.
The open's to test us. And we do pay for the open, but it's literally we're paying because we want to test ourselves. And you can look at competitions that way. You want to test yourself. But I also know what you can do. And I'm like, but you can rock these other things. And I think what you ended up finding, even though you did the workouts, those workouts were hard.
Yeah.
You know, because even when I saw the repetitions and stuff, I was like, I get that she's thinking that scales, she's copping out. And I'm like, these are still going to be really rough.
They were.
And I'm glad that like, because I think I even said like, if you want to do intermediate, well, you know, I'll still judge you. You try it. But I think you should do this.
Yeah, I literally tried the lift. I was like, no, not happening.
And like when I was looking at things I was just like, can you lift that from the ground?
Close.
You know, there's things where I'm like, if that's your max and you have to lift it 10 times, we might not want to do that.
Something I love about you though is that you're like, okay, yeah, like give it a try, right?
Yeah,
and then I try, and of course you're not like, that's what I said, but you're more just like, how did you feel about that?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I wasn't, you know, and you're like, well, maybe we should, and you're so nice about it, you know, and I'm just like, okay.
Because I'm like,
thanks for being so nice about it.
I am one of those where I'm like, don't do that. But if you do want to try it, like
let's try it.
If that's what your heart is set on, try it. I know deep down that we're doing this avenue But I also love to be proved wrong.
stubborn.
I love when Joyce proves me wrong. Like when she's like, no, we're doing it this way. And then I actually have a better time. And I'm like, I'd rather be proved wrong than be like, yeah, that's.
Or maybe that's just Joyce being stubborn, being like, now I got to prove you wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where I'm like, please blow me away. I'd rather be super excited that you blew me away because you've been holding up like,
right.
Look at your toaster bar the other day. Blew both of us away. I was like, get it. But
crazy.
Yeah. We did have like that discussion and things like that. And I do feel like in the CrossFit world and competitive world, like it's technically we have this group of people that are skilled intermediate athletes because the numbers are just so astronomically different. Yeah. But that is to draw lines, right? And to be like, okay, well, next year that does push me to this because this is your first year doing it.
Yeah.
So you want to be like, okay, mindful first year, mindful of it. You're getting new skills. We're doing things, you know. How were the qualifying rounds for you, like structure wise and each workout?
Like how did that work?
Yeah, like how did you feel about them?
I thought it was very easy to navigate. Like they have the competition corner site where you kind of like obviously register, and registration was super easy, affordable, all the good stuff. And then even on the site, they have like all these different tabs saying like, okay, these are all the workouts. And then the last tab was kind of like a leaderboard. And then each tab had like literally all the instructions for that workout. So these are the ones you're going to do if you're scaled. This is what you're going to do if you're intermediate. Here's the weights, everything. I thought they did a great job at outlining it. The only thing where we both struggled a bit, because like you were part of this too. By the way, Blake was with me from the start to the finish when it came to doing the content, the videos and everything. And the instructions on some of them sometimes would be a little vague as to what one of the standards. The one that I got
lost was the weight, because in one sentence it said it could come from the rack, and then the next,
that's right.
Or one sentence said it cannot come from the rack, it has to come from the floor,
right? Yeah.
And then the two sentence after said it can come from the rack, and I was like, the sentence above straight up say it can't come from the rack, and then my brain went to, okay, people are doing this in different types of gyms, and there's some people who don't have a rack and some people who do, or they have like a freestanding rack and then like a pull-up bar that doesn't have like the J hooks for it. So I'm like, okay, is that for those people if they don't have those things to qualify for this? Is it for that? There was another one, for like the boxes. I felt like in each workout, there was always a question.
Yeah.
And it was like exactly how you said. It was beautifully outlined, but it was an outline. And the only experience I have with videos and things like that is watching our gym owner, my boss, do it for Dave for the games. And it's like, if you get out of this box, you automatically are disqualified. If you don't do it this way, you're disqualified. If you don't look at it this way, if this timer's not in, you are just, all these things are disqualified.
And something so minuscule too. Right.
And so like there were things where I was like, oh my gosh, like Joyce, we have to do it again, or we have to do that. Or I would, as it progressed, I was like, okay, well, let's do a run through with a video and do things that way, because I don't want to be the reason why you got disqualified, and I didn't want to read that outline and be like, oh my gosh. I was like, you know what, do it from the floor, even though it says you can do it from the rack, like
just to be safe. And
just to be safe, if it was designated for some other part of this workout, I'd rather do the first sentence than the second sentence.
That's true.
And then be like, well, that whole workout you did great, but it didn't count.
Girl.
And, I would write them a mean letter. I would be like, dear NCC.
I tried my best. No, but I think that was the biggest headache for us when you guys were helping me navigate that. And I loved how everybody was getting involved. Even Coach Chris at some point was like, work the angles and things like that. But I think that was the most intimidating part of the whole experience, at least for me, was just getting all of that content ready. Now, uploading it on YouTube and doing all that was not that bad. And even like putting in your scores when I had to submit everything, it was super easy. You just put a link to your YouTube video, your score, and you're good to go. And they had like a live leaderboard showing like everyone's entries and things. So I was kind of staying up to date as it happened.
Yeah.
Of course, I think I was like 20 the day before all the scores were due. And then I checked the other day because you asked me like, oh, did you move up? Did you move down? And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. And I checked and I think I got 27, which I moved down 7, but still I was like,
it's the top
100 is 100. Yeah, which is a lot of people.
Yeah. So, and see, that's where my brain goes to, yeah, you did amazing for doing scaled. What would we have done if we were intermediate?
Oh, girl, probably not made it.
Yeah.
Let's be real. But yeah, when I started to think about like that conversation we had and how you brought it up, and now that we talk about it being my first one, I was like, I definitely think it's a good way to do it. Especially it being my first one and not knowing what to expect. Maybe this will be the push for, doing intermediate next year. Like,
yeah, because you can have a whole year, right? And I know that you're starting to maybe join Dave on Saturdays and doing the hard thing.
Yes.
He's like, please tell her to come back. And I was like, of course I will.
I hope so. I will. I'm like, he's really taken me under his wing. And so did Coach Chris, actually, because after I told him, I think that I was going to, move forward with it. He's like, well, we need to work on your skills. And he kind of took that upon himself to kind of help me in that one class that he was there for 4:30. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I kind of love how everyone on the gym is just very supportive about it. And even like shout out to Alex Yates, who was like my cheerleader in the whole process with keeping me in pace for all of those workouts also.
And he even did them when you weren't there.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Like he would look it up and do the workouts. That's why halfway through I was like, we should have just videoed you.
That would have been awesome. Yeah. Next year, man.
But then I was like, I think it's in March. And he's like, yeah, I definitely can't do it. Yeah. And then when you told me it was May, I was like, yeah, I had it wrong. I didn't know when.
Next year, Alex. Next year. But he would have been good for that too.
Yeah, it was really good. But let's remind everybody what the workouts are.
Yeah, let's do it. So the NCC has a total of 6 workouts. Workout number 1 was called the barbell chipper. And this was just simply for time. So you were just asked to go as fast as you possibly can to complete the following. It was 10 snatches, 20 cleans, 30 deadlifts, 40 bar facing burpees, and then going back down to 30 deadlifts, 20 cleans, and 10 snatches.
And this is the one that you had to redo.
Oh, God, guys. So I went in, I think it was a Friday. Mind you, I remember when I decided I was going to do this. For a few days, I was kind of just like teeter-tottering between doing it or not and teeter-tottering between am I intermediate or scaled. So I actually consulted I consulted you first, I think, and then obviously Coach Dave, and of course, the consensus was, let's do scaled. So then I think that first day, all of you guys were gone. Like, I really don't remember. It was a Friday.
You were just like, I'm just going to go in because I literally was like, let me know and I will help you and I'll get the timer and everything. And Joyce is always like, I don't know, no problem. And then she'll just like text me and be like, well, I did it. And I'm just like, okay.
But wait, I did do it for free. So then I showed up Friday and I know Rochelle and Alex were there and I think the Friday class, and that was it. Like there wasn't a lot of people at the gym. So I was like, perfect. I'm going to like do the first workout, use the whole like open gym area and just do my whole video. And I had the angle ready. Everything was going. Andrew even helped me set up the timer so that way I can use my phone with it. Started the workout. Did not know that in starting the timer, it stopped my video. So I was killing it. I was flying, y'all. I was like, yes, I am feeling this workout. I'm doing great. And then I go back to check for it and I look at my time. I'm like, oh, that's a really good time. And then I checked the video and I was like, oh no. And it recorded everything up to that point of the timer. And I was just, and then Blake's like, did you not know that once you start the timer, it stops the videos? And I was like,
certain apps that you have to get for a timer.
Yeah. I downloaded it.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, for next year, we can do that if that's the case.
It was so sad, guys. And
yeah,
then
there's things
Rochelle-
that I'm like, hey, we're gonna do it next year this way.
And then Rochelle and Alex just were like, how did it go? And I was like, it went well. It went well. And I was too embarrassed to admit to it that day. And I was like, I'll just tell them tomorrow. Cause
You had text me, you're like, girl, I'm gonna need your help. And I was like, I
can't
told
do this.
you I would help you.
I cannot. And that's when I realized I'm like, I cannot record these by myself. And whoever does that, like, bless your heart, because I don't know how you do that. It's really hard.
Yeah, and keeping
Without
track.
help.
Because I remember when we did do this one, you're like, how many was that? And I'm like, you got one more. Or for, I think, the snatches or
Yeah,
the
you're right.
cleans, you had done an extra. And I was
extra.
like, I told you, girl, go.
Yeah, I was
Number
just like,
20.
my brain.
Yeah.
It was
and
rough.
that's why, because I think this one I was going to let you do by yourself. I was just going to set you up because I was going to work out.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Simmons was actually like, what's the workout? And I told him, and he goes, are you sure you don't want to count for her? And I was like, I'm going to go count for her. And then you were
It
like,
is a lot of
what one
reps.
is it? And I was like, after that, I was like,
I'm
all
glad I
right,
counted.
I'm not going to let her do things on her own. We're going to help her.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, well, maybe she just wants to do it on her own because she was doing the Friday
I
thing
just
on her
didn't want to
own.
bug you guys.
Yeah. Even after the time that I was like, hey, I will help you.
You did, yeah. That's why I was like, you know what? I can't do
Yeah.
this. But that was a fun one. I would imagine it was fun to watch.
It was really fast.
It was pretty fast.
Especially with counting. I did like that because it was just 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 30, 20, 10.
And it's all one
And then
spot.
it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was one spot like recording. And that's how I was like, okay, she can do this one by herself if she wants to. Like all this stuff is good. But then I was like, okay, counting wise,
That's a
that
lot of
was
reps.
good. Yeah. And especially burpees. Sometimes we forget.
It was a lot of reps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, and that was a big one that like you had more people telling you to go faster. That one. And then the toast to bar one. We had a couple people who were yelling for you. And I feel like that helped you go a lot faster.
Because I think it was less, it was close to, it wasn't a whole minute, I think, but it was significant of a gap. And you helped a lot when you're like, okay, you got to keep going. And I was like, I'm so dead. But yeah, no, it definitely works. It helps, at least for me. And then the second one was really fun. It was just a hard one to record as well, but it was a 1 rep max shoulder to overhead.
Yeah, this was the 2-pata.
Yeah, and we had some help on switching weights and things. But yeah, part 1 was just a 1 rep max shoulder to overhead, which personally I don't think is my strongest.
But what
lift,
did you get?
But I did pretty good. I'm like,
You did, because you're like, I think I'm going to stop. What did you say? 110 or 115 you were going to stop at?
yeah.
And then we're like, are you sure you don't want to do more?
Yeah, and then you guys ran to it and you're like, let's get some
and
more.
we're getting more because she was like trying to get out of frame. I was like, don't you step out of frame. Because it says on there, I was like, if you step out of frame, you're disqualified. It doesn't count. You have to stay in frame. Now, I don't know if they're like, okay, for skilled athletes, we'll give you a little bit more.
Like leeway?
Yeah. I don't know if it's, but I don't care if it says it in the rule books. It's in the rule books. If it says your judge cannot stand in front of the camera or in front of the athlete, I'm not going to stand. I'm going to try to stand as far away from you.
That's fair, yeah.
I want to make sure that we don't have anything. There was one where I was like, can you check? Because I think maybe somebody had stepped in front.
Right.
And luckily it wasn't when she was working out.
Right.
Because I would have caught a case. I would have been like, bro, can't do that.
Yeah, I think we got, nothing has come up yet. So fingers crossed. But yeah, that one was a tricky one because we had to go directly from that 1 rep shoulder max and I ended up getting 135, which was pretty cool.
She wanted to stop. I think you wanted to stop at 110.
Yeah, I did.
And we were like, no,
Because that's what
keep
my,
going.
I think it was, that's what my score was last time. So I was like, but I felt really good. So I was like, let's just try for it then. Why not? And then you guys just ran to go get more weight. And I was like, oh, see, I can't do this by myself. Again, it helps having people nearby. And then right after that was Crash Bang, which was, I guess, the second part of that workout. And it was a 12-minute AMRAP of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then going back up that ladder to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you just keep going back and forth for those 12 minutes, doing front squats and ring muscle ups is the RX. But for me, it was just toes to ring.
Yeah.
Which I've never done before at that point. So I was kind of like, I don't know what that's going to feel like, but we're going to give it a try. And surprisingly, it was not that bad. Or maybe I don't know. Joycey surprised Joycey, and she was like,
really
okay.
good. I like toe stirring because you can, the shoulder movement is more
the
freeing. Yeah. And you don't have the bar where you kind of like, you could kind of swing
limited.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're limited in a lot more things. Now it can wreck your shoulders and things like that, but it's just not. Yeah.
Guys, it felt pretty cool, especially since I don't have anything like ring muscle ups or anything like that. That was the closest I felt to getting something similar to that. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going. But that one was a little taxing for sure. And
it was really good. I enjoyed that one, or watching you do that one.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. But this one was the one that I was confused because
when taken from the ground.
Yeah.
So that's what it said. And then
the barbell may be taken from the rig or rack was the very last sentence. So we were like, wait, it says from the ground, and then it says can be taken from the rig or rack. And I was like,
so you have the option, but if you go from the ground, you have to.
I was like, well, we're just going to go from the ground. We're not going to play this game.
Blake and I were like, rather to be safe than sorry. So that's what we did. Which I personally did not mind. I too was like, you know what? Yeah, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Let's get it from the ground. It was one of my favorite workouts, I would say.
That one was a horrible one to set up for the camera. That's the only thing I didn't like. There was some that I was like, okay, we can see everything clearly. She's got to be in line for this. This one, like sometimes where our gym equipment is to our timers.
There was so much going on.
And that's why I was like, hey, next year we're doing the downloaded app one to have the timer always in the app, in the video. For anybody who's doing it next year, we're just going to do it that way. It's a lot easier than having to be like, okay, it has to be in this angle. We had to move the rack a little bit.
We did.
I had to be like, hey, do not move. I put tape down to be like, hey, you have to stay on this tape. You have to do this. And I think after that one, like I went to Simmons and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, I now know how stressed you get for day, way more stressed than I was with you. But I was like, just to have everything where it needs to be and to make sure even when she's tired that she cannot move, like, and that she needs to have her water or people giving her what she needs, like she cannot move. It's just a new respect. I just treated it like you were going to the games. Like, why not? But yeah, I was just like, I don't want to be the reason why they can't see the timer, that I didn't think this stuff through for her. So yeah, I have a game plan for next year if you do it again.
You're so funny. But no, that was really sweet. Y'all really stepped up, man. Y'all really stepped up. Let's see. The next one was grip and rip. This one was kind of tricky to measurement wise, I felt, because it was 3 rounds for time. By the way, this is the RX 30 pull-ups and 300 feet of traveling double unders. For me, it was jumping pull-ups and it wasn't traveling double unders, but just single unders. But it is harder than you think, y'all. That was like, how many 6 back and forths I think it was?
Because I remember when it was 6 back and forth. So down and back was 1. And I remember halfway through, I was like, you have 2 more passes. And I think, and Joyce, because she was tired, she just thought that she just had 2. And then she's like, so my dad, I was like, no, you had 2 passes. You have to do it again. And she's like, and I was like, yeah, we're on number 5 now.
Oh man, it was awful. And I was, mind you, I think that I had done that one right after the previous workout that we just mentioned. So I was already a little fatigued and I felt that.
There was. And even if we do that again, I have a better plan for when you're going to do 2 back to back, and we're going to have better food, because she brought this little tiny salad with these pop chips. And I'm like watching her, and she's sharing her food with my daughter too. And I'm like, she's going to do another one. I was like, yeah, in my mind, because Joyce is very like, what is it? Your cardio, like I see you in cardio and things, but I forget after you do a workout and you sit for a while, your body gets tired. And so like there was no sugar involved. She didn't have any fruit.
I didn't have sugar.
And then after she ate that, and I was thinking, I was like, hey, well, next year if she does that again, I'm going to make sure she packs stuff. Like if we ever decided, okay, you're going to come in on Saturday and you're going to knock 2 out or 3 out. And we're just going to be there all day chugging her along. We're going to act like it's a competition. And you're going to bring fruit. You're going to bring all your electrolytes, all that stuff. You know, especially if more people want to do this, like
That's true.
it'll be fun to have that for a day.
Alex.
So there was things where I was like, okay, for next year, this is what we're going to do.
Smart.
Yeah. But that was, I think you only had 2 no reps.
I did in the jumping.
In the workout, you only had 1. Oh, you did have 2 here. So maybe you had 3. I think there was another workout where I was like, nope, that's a no rep. And it was the wall ball one.
Ah, okay.
And you had no rep yourself, but I was like, no rep.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, everybody, we did no rep.
We did. You did. I was like, oh, that's not right.
Yep. But it didn't look easy.
And you were walking beside me the whole time, so that must have been interesting to judge.
I felt like I was like one of those security guards or like the Disney
so
people.
Cool.
And even towards the end, I was like pushing my body towards her.
I know
to
you're like,
keep
you
her
gotta go this way.
Yep. And I would and she's just like so tired. And I was like, don't you? Nope.
You gotta stay in frame.
Yep. And I would just like
that is
walk
hilarious.
by you and then I'd be like, okay, now as we're doing it, you need to follow this line.
You're like, you gotta go faster.
Yep. Yeah. It just looks like fun. I was like her security guard and I was like, yeah, I'm going to walk by her. So then she keeps track of everything.
It was a fun one. It was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't finish though, guys. And it beat me up a little bit, but it was enough. It was enough.
Yeah. I was like, you had, this was one that we talked about maybe redoing because she almost finished. But I'm always going to like, especially for this year, I left it up to Joyce if she wanted to repeat any of them. Like it's up to her. If she continues on this way, I would have definitely been like, no, you're redoing it just because she was so close. But I did. I was like, I'll leave it up to you and see how you feel. This is your journey, but just be prepared for next year. Yeah. We might be redoing.
I was like, what was the time cap?
9 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
Mm-hmm. But you almost finished that.
That's true. Facts. All right, last 2. Erosion was number 5. That one was also for time. It was 5 rounds of, and this one was the worst. It was a 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 calorie row. And after the row, you do 20 toes to bar and then 20 box jump overs. For me, it was just like legs in space or up to like your hip, I think was the standard.
You had to go like, which you did above, which was good. Yeah, but it had to be above your hip. And then you did step overs.
Step overs. Yeah.
This was one that I messed her up in. Because I thought it was 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 for everything.
Yeah. And I was like, girl, no, it's just 20.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So
that would have been awful.
If she didn't finish this one, I would have been like, yeah, that's
guys, we were so close. We were really close to the cap. What was it, 35?
I think so.
Let me get the scorecard.
Yeah, I believe it was 35.
Yeah, it was 35.
But, you know, like when you're talking about calorie rows.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know, she did, but you did 300 calories in a row.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Sounds
20,
awful.
She did really good at 20.
Killed it.
You know, 40, I think 60 is when you started filling it.
Yes.
And then 80, you were like, I'm so over this row.
I was done.
And 100, she definitely was over that row.
I hopped on like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna take forever.
Your first 20 scared me in the 100 because I was like, oh, okay. I started doing math and being like,
time wise, you were like,
and I was like, okay, I need her to catch up somewhere. So then I was like, okay, good. Now fine, go a little bit faster. So when she hit her 40 and her 60, you did really good. When you hit 70, that's when you were like, or no, it was 40. And then when you hit 50, you're like, oh no. And you started going back down and I had to do math again. And I was like, okay, well now we got to go up more. So then when she hit, it was around 70, you hit your groove again. And then you just like closed your eyes and
I was like, just get through it.
Yep. And did it really good. And
awful.
I was like, okay. And
Awful.
I kept telling her as she got closer to finishing the 100 calorie, I was like, you're going to be so mad at yourself.
Yes, I
if you
was.
If you put all that work in for
You're
the
right.
row
You're
and
right.
you don't finish. Yeah.
And I had 2 minutes left, I think, about 2 minutes to do the leg thingies and the
And that was
about 2 minutes. Yeah.
I think that was like your first set. That was, you held on, I think the longest in your last set. Because you knew time. Like Joyce's brain that I can see on the outside, I don't know if it actually works like this in the workout. But when she has less time and it's for time at the end, she does try to hold on more. And that's what we ask from athletes, right? You have a minute left. Do not
chop.
do singles. You need to try and hold on. And she had one of her biggest sets of those toes to hips. In her last 20, and then her box jump overs, her first 5, I was like, you need to go faster.
I was stepping and I was like, I have no legs left.
And she's just like trying to move, and I was like, you need to go faster. In her last 5,
I think that's when Phoebe was there too. And she was like, come on.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, that one was the worst of all of them for me.
I am really glad that we had people yelling at you for that one and the chipper.
Yeah.
It was really good. And that we had people there for your lift.
True.
So there's like really good avenues, especially for this one. This one was really, really rough. I was just
Community, guys. It's beautiful. It's so nice. And then the last one was called Snowball Effect. This one it's also for time, but it was a 500-foot burpee shuttle, 250 double dumbbell walking lunges, 30 wall balls, 30 bushwhackers, and then 30 handstand shoulder taps. For scaled, it was still burpee shuttles. It was still a dumbbell walking lunge, but the weight for me was at, I think it was it 20?
No, I thought you only had to do body weight.
Oh, you're right. It was just body weight. Wall ball was 10 pounds, I believe. And then the bushwhackers, which I've never heard of in my life before this workout. I had to kind of look up videos and figure it out, but it's kind of like a clean and a press almost in one side, right?
To me, it's like a side.
It's weird. It's like a
thing.
Yeah, like one is up and then the other one's down and then you switch.
Yeah.
That's the best way we can explain it.
You're alternating snatches from the side, but so your left, if you do your left, you do a snatch with your left hand while your right hand holds down the dumbbell at your side. So you're doing like hand snatches, but yeah. And then you had
it was
scaled
a 25
wall walks.
dumbbell for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you scaled wall walks, which Blake messed her up for this one too. Because I was like, girl, you have to do all the way wall walks. And she was like, no, I don't.
It's a scaled wall walk. Isn't that like half?
Yeah. And then like when I read it, I was like, oh, it is half. And I was like, that's pretty stupid. Why won't they have scaled do wall walks?
I was like, shh.
Yeah, she was.
I was like, what do you mean?
Stop
That's
having
fantastic.
a conversation with me while I'm working out.
Dude, yeah, I had my last 5 and I was like, wait, are you sure? I'm like, because I just did one.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I think you're fine. And then I was like, I'm just going to do them anyway. Yep. And I just did them anyway. And you were still like looking through the papers trying to figure it out. Like, what is it? What is it? It was like SpongeBob on fire.
That was my first one judging you and doing everything.
That's right.
So I was like very, very nervous. But like when we went over it, I was like, because you were like, oh, it's really far for me. I was like, no, I can do a wall walk. And I did a wall walk with it. And so like in my brain, I was like, oh, it's wall walks because it's handstand shoulder taps for RX.
Right. Wall facing handstand shoulder taps. Handstand shoulder taps was for RX. For intermediate was wall facing handstand shoulder taps.
So that's why I was like, oh, if one is just a handstand shoulder tap and then the other one is basically you had a wall walk into it and do shoulder taps, I was like, scaled is definitely just a wall walk. But when you're looking at it and the shoulder tap should be super fast, at the end of it, I was like, oh, that's why it's scaled wall walks, because it's just super fast. That movement's meant to be really fast. But like in my brain, I was like, well, the scaled version would be a wall walk.
Right. No,
which I feel like they should have just made you do one wall walk.
Yeah. Like 1 or 2 and then call it a day.
Because that would be shoulder taps. You're walking, but I didn't make the workout. I feel like the scaled wall walk is a cop out for all the work that you guys had to do.
Well,
but you liked it.
I wasn't tripping about it.
No, tons of skilled people are like, you shut your mouth right now.
Wait, no, just kidding. It was not bad, but that was it. Those were the workouts.
That was the one that I was like, ooh, I would like to do that.
Well, you
that
still
was a
can.
fun one to watch.
You still can for fun if you want.
Maybe one day. But that one was, I liked judging that one, even though it was my first one judging you.
There's a lot going on.
I really liked that one, and I liked the chipper. I did not like doing the row because
yeah, that one was rough. It was a long one too.
And it's me standing around knowing how much that row is causing you pain.
That's true too.
Like, I was just like, this is not a fun one for her. I got to try to push her for it.
For nobody.
Yeah, I was like, it is really, you know. So
I feel like you're my manager.
So what is that mental battle during it, and like the pressure for yourself or expectation, or even trusting your training? Like, how did that mentally go for you?
I don't know. I feel like as a person, and I think you and a lot of people who know me very well know this, I feel like I tend to doubt myself a lot in terms of my abilities. Mm-hmm. So going into it, I was just like, I'm not going to take this seriously. I'm just going to see it as I'm just having fun. And kind of, I guess I was setting myself up for like not being disappointed, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was like, if I don't make it, I'm really going to beat myself up for it so much. So I'm just going to take this more as a fun thing. And then the more I noticed you guys taking it seriously, I feel like that inspired me like, oh, maybe I should be taking this more seriously. Like maybe I should be making more of an effort and caring more about it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it started off as just, whatever. And then it ended up being like, man, I actually kind of want to, I'm doing pretty good. Like, let's keep this going. So there was a sense of like not wanting to disappoint you guys a little bit because you guys were such a big part of it. And then once I was just really close, at that point, I just didn't want to disappoint me.
Yeah.
But in terms of getting through it, it did not feel that bad. I think mainly because I had my gym behind me and I had all that support. But if I had to do it by myself, there was that I would have felt so defeated in not being able to do the videos and everything. But it was fun. It was a learning experience. I learned a lot. I stumbled a lot and didn't get some things. But like you said, I think it just prepped me for the next one. So hopefully next time I'll be a little more prepared. But
I think so. That's how I felt like when you were just like, no, I'll do the videos on my own. Mm-hmm. I was like, part of me was like, okay, is it because we told her to do scaled that she's like, it is what it is. And that's why I kept being like, no, like I will help you. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out these days. I looked forward to it. Because I just love having to push you and you push yourself very well. But it was like a new thing for me to be, because I feel like we're friends no matter what. And even when I coach you more like as a friend. So it felt more like I was stepping into like a more confident coaching ability for myself. Because there was a couple where I was like, okay, well, the tie break time is this, so you need to push it here. True. Yeah. And even knowing like, even though you wanted to do intermediate, like me putting on my coaching hat and being like, it's not going to do what you want it for yourself. You know, like we, of course, all want to be intermediate RX athletes. We want to, all of us want to hit that RX button. You know, if we go 4 days a week, we want to hit at least 3 days. But there also comes a realization that everybody who does these competitions wants to do it. And it's not that you're not doing amazing in the gym. Right. It's just there's so many other people who have different skills that it was like hard for me to be like, okay, well, I have to tell her this in the nicest way. But also like when we transition to the videos and knowing like pacing, transitioning, like having you stay in frame and to keep you ready and excited for it like that, that helped me to be in a different position than I really enjoyed it. That's why I was like, I hope she does it next year because I'm ready for next year. And I hope other people do it too because I'm ready to help people.
No, I did love that. And I loved how people were asking questions like, what are you doing? What are you recording for? Like, can I be a part of it? And I thought that was great. But I did love how we kind of got into that athlete kind of like coach / manager kind of vibe. Like, and I just felt like there's so much respect and so much like lack of doubt for me that when Blake or Coach Dave or someone just tells me like, I'm not even going to ask questions. Like, you guys know me more than anybody in the gym. You guys have seen me for years. Like, if you think that's the best option, then I'm not going to take that lightly. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I felt like throughout that whole experience, you guiding me through it, and this is the tie break time and this is what you got to do. And I'm like, all right, then that's what I'm going to do. And I felt like that was, I would imagine for you, like an amazing like thing to kind of like slowly get more comfortable with and kind of taking that role. Because I know we've talked in the past about how as a coach, you feel very validated when people take your advice and do what you tell them to do. So I felt like we had a really good flow going with that. And it feels really nice to have someone who knows you in that level and, you know, can just kind of guide you through something, especially knowing how you work mentally as well. So,
yeah, there are times in it, and there's other aspects for how I coach and who wants to listen and who doesn't, and who's coachable and who's not. And it's validating even at times. And it used to get on my nerves when I would say something and then another coach would come in and say the exact same thing and somebody would listen to them. And now, like, when I look at it that way, I go, well, at least this other coach who has been coaching longer than me said the exact same thing. So I know that I'm doing something right, compared to being like, how come you didn't want to listen to me? I said it the exact same way. What's wrong with you that you don't want to listen to me? To, you know what? That's not on. It's
not personal.
I can't control if that person wants to listen to how I coach. I can't control that person. And if they want to look at somebody and be like, okay, she did give me advice, but this person who has 15 years over her, 5 years over her, even a year over me, they can look at it that way of coaching. And they're like, that's their validation that I was coaching correctly. Okay, that's on them to feel that way. And I just feel better when I'm like, you know what? Because everybody I work with, even the coaches who haven't been coaching as long as me, even when they come in and give the same advice, it validates me so much as I am a really good coach.
You are, dude.
You know what? And they're a really great coach too, because they just gave the great same advice and it was the same. You know, even if they gave it different, there's times when I work out, I lift during the week when my husband's gone, and Chris Simmons, my boss, and also, you know, my coach, he'll coach noon. And that's when I'm working out. If I know that I have to coach that evening, I will listen to his pointers. And that's usually what I tell like any new coach coming in that they've hired. Like I've had a couple who are like, well, what's the best advice for this and this and this? I'm like, even when I started coaching, I actively took his classes because he coaches majority. But I'd also take our other coaches' classes and not just work out in open gym to see how they coached or to hear their pointers or hear their feedback or things like that. So like I'm still actively learning how to coach. And, you know, majority of the time I'm like, I coached amazing. And there are a couple of classes where I'm like, oh, I could have done better. But yeah, like this really helped to validate, like I'm really good, and this might be something that I want to do in the future to help people get to their next step. I'm still working a lot on me. So like if Joyce asks, like one person at a time asking, or like the opens coming up. And when people are like, hey, this Friday, I can't do it. Can you judge me on this weekend? I enjoy that they ask me to do that. And I enjoy, you know, a lot of our friends or people at the gym are like, yeah, she loves to judge people. I do. I love to
in
actually,
more ways than one.
Yeah,
no, just kidding.
But I love competitively judging somebody. Sometimes not the RX athletes.
Yeah, it's a little
when there's two of them, I like doing individual RX. Like when we have to do it for the open, it's so much easier to judge one person than on teams. At times, and telling somebody to slow down or things like that because something didn't count. But I love the open, and I love this because I'm actively wanting you to do better and to count that for you compared to, oh, it might have been a no rep, it might have not, and then they disqualify you. Like, I like those options. The roundabout thing was, it was very nice to be in that position and be like, you know what? This is nice. I'm trying to this year build confidence in my lifting and as myself, as an athlete and as a coach. And that just helped, you know, and I enjoy it. I enjoy when people ask for my help and we work together and actually accomplish something.
So I need help doing my meal preps and cleaning. Do you want to help with that?
Oh, I also love helping people meal prep because there was a time when we used to I came over like once and we cooked together. I love creating.
Maybe I'll go to your house next time.
Yeah. I love creating meals for people, like ideas.
Yeah.
Being like, what do you like to eat? How can we fit that in a macro? What can we replace? Because I'm all about, if I like to eat in and out, my meal prep's going to be in and out, just macro based, and I'm going to pick some healthier versions.
Okay, we're doing that. We're doing that. That sounds so good.
But I know that we touched on submitting. Now, Joyce did say in the beginning that it was rather easy. It was not.
I thought it was. You mean transferring the videos?
Transferring videos.
Okay, that's
was
separate.
hard.
That ain't NCC related.
I know.
Our airdrop was definitely failing, guys.
I was like, what the heck? I think it was happening?
Me, though. I had no data.
I was just like, okay. And again, for next year, I was like, okay, we're going to do it this way next year.
You're right. We need to figure out a way.
And there's just easier ways. And I'm like, if I have all those videos, I could put them on YouTube for you and then do that. You know, there's so many things that when it's your first year, it was a really good, I think really great that both of us were new to this.
Yeah.
In a sense. And you accomplished something, I accomplished something, and I didn't. You know, my whole accomplishment was getting you to be in that top. In my head, it was I just wanted to 50. Get in. Yeah. So I was like, okay, we're going to push her in these other ones and she's going to get it.
Did it. Yeah. Just kidding. Well, let's just hear, right? Watch him come back and be like, oh, so that one video, it's not going to work. But aside from that, I'm also just excited. If it does work out and they, you know, I get the Hogwarts letter and I get to go to Hogwarts, I'm excited for...
when do you get to hear, like, the official?
Honestly, I don't know. That's a good question. It's in May, so I'm hoping by March, but I haven't gotten any information.
But I was like, everything should have been finalized by now, right?
Well, submission was on the
25th.
Yeah, so that's the day you submit. But I don't know if they still have to like review the videos and like confirm all that stuff. But yeah, my scores are up there in my profile and everything. I don't know. Oh, what? It says overall 28th, but it says one event win. What event?
Ooh.
How would I know? It was the Crash Bang? Because it says 1 point. Right? I don't know. Check that out.
Let me see. Event win. Yes. You have one event win and you have 2 top 5 finishes.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So your...
Coach Blake in the house.
Crash Bang looks like that's the one you won. It looks like Barbell Chipper is one that you got in top 5. So Crash Bang and Barbell Chipper.
That's the one y'all cheered me
Those
out
were
on.
the 2 5 top finishes.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
So she did really, really good. And even the other ones that you didn't place your lowest placement was
the one I didn't finich.
Grip and rip. Yeah. And like I said, next time.
We knew.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But it's really good. See?
Oh, snap. Your
Good
coaching
job.
worked. Made by Human CrossFit. But yeah, I'm excited to...
I love how we're doing the episode.
I know, it's so random.
And you're just like, oh, look what I found.
I know. I was like, oh, snap. I didn't even look at that. See, guys, I'm very like laissez-faire about stuff like that. I don't know.
She is.
But aside from that, like, I'm excited to meet the celebrity part of it. Like, I was like, if I don't even make it, I'll probably just to go see like the CrossFit athletes do their thing. Like, you know, all the Wells sisters sometimes go, and I know Jorge's going to be there. And Rebecca Fusilier, hopefully. And
Yeah.
I'm excited for that too. So the quest is on to save money just in case I have to travel out there and do all that fun stuff. But it's exciting if I do.
I think you're going to.
I think it's a
even
fish.
sitting here, she's like, I don't know. And I'm like,
what if the video's like the cut thing that makes it just like...
They've already placed you.
Okay,
They've placed you in all of them.
I guess it's true.
And they've already given you an event win, and they've already given you top 5 in 2 of them. Joyce
Blake,
just needs to believe in it. I just have to save money.
I'm just kidding. Putting her
I
to
would
the
love
test.
to coach you during it.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm. So that would be. So I just have to save money for that. I have my meet in April.
Oh my God, I'm asking so much of Blake, actually.
We have a trip at the beginning of May, and now she's asking me to go somewhere at the end.
Hey, you asked me if I need help ever to ask you.
Or I'll be like, the kids are coming with me, and so is my mom.
That'd be kind of cool, though. I would love that.
Okay. So that would be a future
Anyone's
thing.
invited, by the way.
But if you're listening and thinking about signing up for something scary, this is your sign, right, Joyce?
Do it. Why not?
Take your shot. Trust your training. Ask a coach. Ask somebody.
Ask Blake.
Ask me.
Blake is always right.
We also have so many coaches that will help you in anything. You just have to text us and be like, hey, do you have time to sit down? Or hey, I was thinking about this. Or even a pass by for me is okay to be like, hey, I was thinking this. And if I don't have time, I'll be like, hey, meet me after this class or after this time.
You guys are so good about that.
Yeah. We're just all human. So I always have my kids and somewhere to be, or I'm coaching. So catch me right before class and we can scratch on a time. That's the same with Chris Simmons, Dave, shoot them a text and be like, hey, do you have a time to do a sit down with me to go over future plans that I want to be as an athlete? Even talking to Phoebe, Phoebe's a great coach to push you. Andrew will let you know, hey, maybe work on that. We're all there to help you. If you're interested in High Rocks, we have Carol, who also, I know that a lot of you don't see Jason Potoff that much, but again, another great coach to talk about strength training or competition. Most of us coaches have done a competition, so if you want to just pick our brains. But there are some of us that can push you to do gymnastics or weightlifting, or even to just be like, is this the right route that I want to go on? That's what we're there for. I tell people I get paid to help you.
Yeah.
I get paid to help put your weights away. I get paid to tell you, let's do this. I get paid to help you in progressions in class. Yeah. There's things that we can do in class and outside of class. You just shoot us a text and be like, do you have time to talk? That's it. 9 times out of 10, we'll give you the time to talk.
It's true.
If it's not, then it's because we're super busy, or some of us are sick. Some of us, are on vacation, or we'll find time. You just got to let us know.
True.
Yeah, but on that note, if this podcast is your swig of pre-workout, please subscribe, hit that follow button so you don't miss out on our next episodes, our future episodes, maybe us all going to the NCC and recording there. If you have an episode idea that you want us to deep dive in, another competition, what to bring at a competition, expectations, how do I go about, again, deep diving into that, feel free to message us or email us. You can DM us on Savagely Scaled, at Savagely Scaled on Instagram. You can email us at savagelyscaled1 at Gmail. Or if you feel like your affiliate's the best, you go to the best affiliate, please DM us or email us, and we'd love to invite you to do our affiliate segment. We love those. We love going to visit, seeing how other gyms are laid out, what you guys are bringing to the community, what your community thinks about you. So please feel free to let us know. On that note, though, don't be a Karen.
Be a Sharon.
And keep sharing. It really does help us if you share these out on any of the platforms. It really does. And until
We meet
at the whiteboard again. Bye.